Dawn, back with another. This is going to be a twin flame check-in message. Um, going to already pulled runes for the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and then I will pull cards. And this time I'm going to try to um, just verify the runes rather than doing like a spread. I'm just going to ask the cards to verify the runes. So we'll see how that plays out. So hope everybody's doing okay out there today. The energy still been very fluctuating, pulsing. It feels more like a pulse than a wave. Really kind of like the last, I don't know, a couple of days, 24, 48 hours. Just like these pulses, which I guess, is also would create waves. But anyway, that's just the way the energy feels. And there is this, I don't know how to, I'm hearing underbelly. I'm not exactly sure what that means though. Like, because I'm feeling this, see, yesterday I think I called it sinister, but this persistent, it's a lower vibe, but I don't know how to explain it. Okay, again, here we go back with what I posted on Facebook. Because I guess sometimes I've already explained this stuff and then it comes up in the videos and I forget. So, okay, the other day I was talking about on Facebook how, like the energies, like the darker energies, they have always known every single one of your weaknesses, your insecurities, always. And that's how they've kept you creating by default. And so, like, anytime you're about to make a massive realization and, like, move forward on your ascension, all, your insecurities and worries and fears will start coming up through all different kinds of situations and people, in order to get us to second guess ourselves and continue to be creating from these lower fear-based energies. Because ultimately, if we stand in our power and we don't, create from a fear-based position, well, we're going to be creating a life that we truly want. And so ultimately, we won't be feeding these lower level energies and entities. So it is in their survival and best interest to keep us stuck in those lower level energies and with those lower level entities. So, and that's all the fear and insecurities and all that is. It's these lower energies, like always whispering in your ear, whispering, you're not good enough. That's not going to turn out the way you want. You can't have that. You would never get that. You're not smart enough. You're not good enough. You're not fast enough. You're not skinny enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not smart enough. All of these things just boom, 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 constantly infiltrating your energy field if you're not constantly mindful of everything. And even when you are constantly mindful, that shit can come in because it's so deeply rooted that you have to really sit with the emotion. Because, okay, that's another thing. That's the best way to get rid of these entities. It's when we continue to feed into them that they continue to feed off of us, and we continue to deplete our energetic field, our life force, our prana, our chi, all of those things. We deplete that, or it's being depleted with our consent, because nothing can happen without our consent. That's where free will comes in. So ultimately, we're consenting to being fed off of constantly. So by taking back that consent, cutting cords and then monitoring our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, we can realize the ones that um, are in fact feeding the lower energies and thoughts, feelings, and ideas, and creating by default these situations that we don't want to be in. Um, so, in essence, if we can monitor those thoughts, and when something comes up that we realize as a lower, either a lower thought, feeling, or action, or something that's feeding that and allowing that to continue to keep coming, um, we can sit with that. We can actually feel the emotions, but like from a root. Like, where did that come from? Start ask. That's where I've talked about this too on channel and on Facebook. Start asking yourself questions. Why do I feel this way? Where did this come from? When was the first time I ever felt this feeling? Um, and then work through the process of forgiving those people that were involved in the situation. Like, if you were a child, forgive the adults in your life, or the other children in your life, the teachers in your life, the clergy in your life, whoever it was that did something, because they were, also creating from lower level energies, entities, and beings, creating by default, creating from what they know, creating from the programming. And so, in essence, whatever was done or not done that affected you in an adverse way, you don't have to, but it is in your best interest to forgive those people and forgive yourself for being a child and not having any control and or effect over the situation at the time. And then, on and on, as we've grown up, we've made decisions of our own, and we have to take responsibility. Just like we've got to forgive other people, even still, we got to stand up and take responsibility for anything that we have done, and then also forgive ourselves, just like we would, I don't even want to use any of those bad, or negative, I can't think of a good one right now that doesn't, anyway, but won't use an example at the moment. But still, yet, whether you were a child and you had no control, or whether you were an adult and you had full control, there's got to be forgiveness, as far as, if you had full control and you did something anyway that you felt like you really shouldn't have done, examine, why did I do that, and be honest with yourself, and then be forgiving of yourself and accepting of yourself to move forward, in your ascension process. And ultimately, every stinking time that we do that, we cut off food supply to new, or to old, lower level entities, and beings. And let me tell you, from personal experience, one thing, like, if you go back and forgive yourself, or if you go back and heal something from your past, now this goes actually two different ways. This is kind of a catch-22, because you can go back and heal something from your past, and ideally we get everything about that situation healed. Like, it's because there's like a situation, and then, hold on 1 second. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this because of how white it is, but hopefully with the black background you'll be able to see it. With the black on the white background, you'll be able to see it. Never mind. Okay, so I see it kind of like this. Okay, so we're going to call this the wound. Whatever, that wound or wound, or are they spelled the same? I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter at this point. This is just a representation. Okay. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see this. Yeah, you can't. Damn. Oh. Okay. Okay, you see the wound there in the center? It's like a molecule. And it's got all of these spirally things, or, not spindly, spirally, tentacly. Yeah, they look like tentacles, almost. Like, coming off of it all over the place. Well, those are other areas like this wound, this core wound affects our life in all of these different ways. So, when we initially go in to heal a wound, it's best to really, really set with this wound all the way back to its original. Because the further we can go back and the more we can heal from this core wound, the more of these tentacles that we can remove and release. Ultimately, hopefully, releasing all of them, because these are how this one wound spirals out into our lives and affects different areas of our life. So, a lot of times we actually come to the healing, not to the core wound initially, but oh, that's funny. I did 2 dots, and it literally went over the U, and I think that makes the U have a funny sound in like a different language. I don't know, but it's just a dot over each, arm of the U or leg of the U, whatever you want to call it. That's weird how that came up. But anyways, so usually, or well, not usually, a lot of times when we go into healing a wound, we only go into it through one leg, and so therefore we only really tap like a small part of that wound. Like we may come in and just kind of heal a piece of that wound. So that core wound is still spiraling out in so many different areas of our lives. But if we can go straight to the core wound, which is a lot more difficult because that, like I said, requires to go all the way back to the first time you ever thought, felt, experienced, or whatever that situation. And it's even harder if you've blocked out a lot of like your childhood, and it's even harder if it comes from like ancestral karma and past lives. So this is not the journey for the faint of heart. It's not the journey for the easily swayed, or I would say it's not it's not the journey for the less than pure of heart. But I actually think that we all go through this. Well, it's not necessarily that you're not pure of heart, but you kind of go through this dark, not just the dark night of the soul, but you go through like a dark phase that, I mean, almost like it's because you're kind of exploring your dark side. I feel like we all kind of got to go through that as light workers. Because honestly, how are you going to fight something you know nothing about? So if you've never trudged through the dark, if you've never had all of these negative feelings, addictions and codependency and lack consciousness and unworthiness, like all of those things, if you've never had any of those things, and you don't have to rise above those things and really, walk yourself through the trenches and dig yourself out of holes all by yourself, then how do you know how strong you are? How do you know how to fight the quote-unquote enemies? Because we are ultimately in a spiritual warfare, or in a spiritual war. That is a real thing, in my opinion. That's just the way I see it, and I have really always seen it that way, and it's so crazy because there's been really lucid times in my life where this stuff was super, super clear, and then big chunks of my life where it wasn't clear to me like that. And this has been happening off and on throughout my whole life. And I'm remembering more and more. I was one of those people that have suppressed a lot of things from childhood. And so, like, I didn't remember, or well, I still don't remember a lot of my childhood that I'm pulling back up. So, it's really kind of crazy, some of the things that are coming up. But for me, weirdly enough, it usually seems like it's all good stuff that comes up. Like, I'm remembering positive triggers, things that are triggering me in a positive way, to move in certain ways, to do things in certain ways. It's not like, I mean, again, last year, that was my year of, or of negative triggers. Everything triggered me negatively, and definitely I still have bouts of things that trigger me, but they're usually way fewer and far between and affect me so on such a smaller scale now. Um, it's like instead of totally flipping my world upside down, it maybe just, and it doesn't even rock my foundation anymore. It maybe just kind of, you know, shudders my foundation. Gives it a little shudder or something. Um, so, um, yeah, again, I don't know. But really, back to the core wound. That's what needs to be healed. Um, One example I can give is, you know, like mommy and daddy issues. Um, how if there was a, and then if you have both, you know, but if there was some type of an issue of like abandonment or not good enough, not worthy, lack of love from a parent at an early age, that can be a very big core wound that actually manifests itself in so many different ways and affects us in so many different areas of our lives, that to come at it from one angle is really almost going to be like defeating the purpose. You know, if you just come at it from like, okay, say you got this core wound with like a mom, a mother figure, um, and you just come at this wound, like say from your most recent failed relationship, and you don't go through like your role and their role in every single relationship that you've ever been in, whether it's friends, family, intimate partners, parents. Like, if you don't go back and look at the dynamics between all of your relationships and then come to the fact that, hey, maybe I've been holding back or, you know, keeping myself closed off because I felt abandoned as a child or not loved as a child or not seen or not heard or something as a child. And so that is affecting me. I haven't given all that I could to my kids or to my spouse or to my friends, you know, or even to my job. Maybe I couldn't give all to my job, or maybe it caused me to be too much in certain ways. Maybe I gave too much to my friends, too much to my kids, too much to my job, you know. So, but it's going to come out and affect in so many different ways. See if I can get this. I've just been drawing over the lines and over the lines. Damn it. And it's so crazy because it's cloudy outside. I don't even know why it's so okay, you can see a little bit. I just been drawing over and over the lines because basically that's kind of the thing. It's like we just keep not evacuating. Damn it. Keep reactivating, sorry, reactivating those core wounds through all of these different things. And like I said, in this situation, if it was like something to do with like mommy or daddy issues, you know, like you've got to examine all of your relationships and how all of those relationships affected you. And you even could have one central scapegoat. Like, for instance, if you have a twin, and I've noticed this in my own dynamic, if they have a core wound, like say around, or you, like you or them, have a core wound around like issues with a father figure or a mother figure from childhood or both, your twin could actually get basically like the fallout from every single relationship. Like they could always get the blame. It could always be their fault, like in this person's eyes, until that wound, that core wound is healed. Yeah, I actually brought this up over a year ago. Actually, anyways, a while back. It's been a year or two ago. I think I even wrote, I did, 2 Christmases ago, I wrote my twin a letter describing basically the same scenario. I mean, probably gave a lot more words now because it's really come up for a lot of people. I've been noticing it in a lot of people. I noticed I've noticed it in myself as I've been healing, how one wound keeps coming back, keeps coming back. I've used the spiral. Actually did a live one time and had a paper cutout of the spiral and how we keep coming back to clear up certain aspects of wounds. And basically, we could draw out, and this would be the spiral. And then we keep going around these same patterns until we get to the center of this wound. Oh wow, so that's pretty cool. Like I'm totally getting sacred geometry right now with this. I might have to draw it and post it on my Facebook later. I might draw it on my sketch pad. What I'm try to draw it out anyway. What I'm trying to try to draw out what I'm seeing here and what I've been trying to show you guys, but also what I just realized. So, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get into the runes and the cards. I did not mean to go off on a tangent, but doggone it, that's the way these things keep coming out. Lots of energy, lots and lots of energy. And, like I said, it's not all moving, or not. There's some of it that's really trying to come at us and move us in the wrong direction or keep us stuck in a holding pattern. Which brings me to the runes, because this Divine Masculines, I got the Lapis Lazuli set for them and the Red Jasper set for the Divine Feminines. I've already pre-shuffled both decks. And so the Divine Masculines are definitely getting signs, synchronicities, wisdom, guidance. I think they're getting it really strong, but there's some type of disruption. Now, this could be them not wanting to face the signs, signals, synchronicities, and wisdom and the guidance that they're getting from their higher self or their guides. But they're getting this very strong, and they also could be getting just as strong opposition. This could be from, again, internal, like just wanting to hold on to old patterns, hold on to old wounds, just really not wanting to go in and do the healing. Or this could be an outside force, somebody in your environment, somebody in your energy, which ultimately, in my opinion, if there's somebody in your external force, your external energy that is doing something to you, you are also doing something similar to yourself on the inside. So, I feel like there's some type of disruption. I feel like the Divine Masculines could be not wanting to see these signals, or really kind of just blocking them out. And they could have somebody that is trying to paint a different picture, and so they're wanting to follow this different picture because it seems easier. And I've talked about this at least for the last week. Like, this is the energy, and it's like this is full strength. Somebody's putting in a lot of time, energy, and effort into talking the Divine Masculines out of basically what they know. And somebody said the other day, I can't remember who it was that I was listening to, but they said, I think it was Princess India. I love her, by the way. But she was saying that the reason that people are so easy to believe lies is because with every good lie, there is, just a little seed of the truth. So it's like, you can get somebody to bite because there's that little seed of truth that they're like, yeah, that's true. So everything else you're saying must be true, that's where the lie really comes in. You start lying to yourself because you know that all of those other things are not true, that maybe this one thing is true, but is it really as bad as what you and or the other people are making it out to be? 1 second. Lito, what do you got? Hey, what do you got? You better stay out of stuff. I don't know what she's into. Okay, anyways. So yeah, there's some type of disruption when it comes to the messages that the divine masculines are getting. Um, Now, for the divine feminines, they've got wholeness, self, so wholeness within themselves, growth, love, fertility, fertility. So I feel like they are very much in a solid place of, again, this has still been coming in for a while, a good place of balance, a place to really uh, manifest, you know, what they want and manifest their desires. They're coming from a place of love. They've actually done the healing work and the growth that was necessary in order to move into their heart space, in order to be able to manifest from that heart space. In my opinion, um, if you're not manifesting from the heart space, you're only going to manifest more misery. That's just my opinion. Um, yeah, but the divine feminine, they have really become like whole within themselves. And that, again, that's another thing that has been coming up, coming up, coming up for the divine feminine. So I feel like there's very much a lot of work has been put in for the divine feminines to become very balanced. The shaman. So the divine masculines could be getting enlightened, because this energy that we've had, it feels very, like I said, very pulsing. So it's almost like the divine masculines are being given, pulsed these messages, these synchronicities, these signals, this wisdom, this guidance, whatever it is, just kind of pulsing at them. And it's almost like that is part of what's creating confusion for them, is because this is all coming in quickly, especially this weekend. And then because these pulses are raising the divine masculine's vibration, ultimately it's knocking them out of sync with anything that's already in their current energy, in their environment. And so that's causing a lot of rift in the energies for the collective, because there's a lot of these, changes in vibration, like in relationships and in work dynamics and in family situations, in friendships, because some people are raising in their vibration and others are not, and some are both raising but not at the same speed, not at the same rate. And so that's still, even if both people are raising in vibration, you both start out like this, and then it ends up being more like this. One person's way higher and the other person is like down here. So and not that there's specific levels, it's just, or well, there is, because it's a level of vibration, but not like, yeah, whatever, I'm not even gonna get into it. But I do see excuse me. Damn it, and I don't think I have anything to drink out here now. Anyway, okay, so I did see the death card, and I did see the shaman, which is the hermit card. So I feel like there could be some type of transformation really happening, like a deep transformation for the divine masculines. But it could feel very uncomfortable right now for the divine masculines. Like, I'm literally seeing, it's almost like what you see in the movies when you see something try to shapeshift, like from a person to a werewolf, or a werewolf back to a person, or something like that, where they're doing all kinds of crazy things with their body and, moving in and out. It's almost the feeling I get, like, with losing these lower energies. It's almost like they are exorcising demons out of themselves. I mean, that's what I'm seeing. Like, it's strange to see it like that and to think of it like that, but that's what I'm seeing. I'm literally seeing like these, like, a person, a male, and kneeling, like maybe at an altar, like maybe they're really trying to heal, or maybe this is like their place where they meditate, some kind of, it doesn't look like some big, I'm gonna summon dark forces, altar, anything like that. It's like the opposite. It's like this person, they sit down in front of these candles, and uh, it's like they get hit with this light beam, and these energies are, darker energies are like struggling to hang on, but they're getting pushed out, and so it almost looks like the person, the masculine, is like moving around, but it's really the darker energies, you know, freaking out, trying to glom on, and actually getting pushed out. So, anyway, that's what I'm seeing for transformation. Literally, that's what I'm seeing with this death. Um, so, let's see. What do signals, wisdom, strength, disruption? Okay, so what kind of messages are the divine masculines getting? Whoa. Get that one fell on the floor. Ace of Cups. Four of Swords, because I'm not taking all of these, although the tower is on there. Okay, so the kind of messages they are getting is basically it's like it's time to move towards their spirituality, move more into their heart space. There's no more time of like thinking about it or waiting or holding back. Like I feel like this group of divine masculines may have known that like they've had a spiritual calling, that they were supposed to move towards a certain path, but maybe they were trying to accomplish something more material in the 3D world, and so they were kind of holding off. But I'm getting the messages that they're getting now is to push forward with their own spirituality, self-love, connecting with their heart space. Is that mulberries? No, that's just flowers. I was going to say, mulberries has been coming up a lot. Literally, I think it was the day after I mentioned finding a mulberry tree in the backyard. Teal Swan was out picking freaking mulberries on Instagram literally the next day. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? And then like 2 days later or the next day, she's making mulberry pie or mulberry cobbler. And it seems like there was a couple of other mulberry scenarios since then. And so I was like, is that mulberries? But it's not. All right. So anyway, so yeah, moving forward. This is like moving forward towards their higher purpose, towards their spirituality, because we got the chariot here. But now we're going to check and see what is the strength about. I feel like they're getting strong messages, but I also feel like the opposition is just as strong. So tell me about the strength. What was that? Holy crap. I literally said opposition. Yeah. Those two both were on my finger, and I was going to throw them back in. They were like that on top of my fingers, so there was just the two. But something told me to look at those, and yeah, definitely. Opposition, literally, I just said that. And it's at the top of that. Opposition with the Lovers in reverse. So this is opposition trying to keep the divine masculine out of their heart space. Not necessarily just trying to keep them from moving forward with the divine feminine, although that is a direct result. But this is absolutely trying to keep the divine masculines wrapped up into 3D material type things, trying to keep them confused here with the Two of Swords, maybe not letting them rest. There could be a need for rest because this other person or this other energy could be multiple energies that are creating this opposition and keeping the divine masculines from moving into their heart space. Okay, so tell me about, oh wait, let me shovel. And then we'll see if we can get information on the disruption. Who or what maybe is causing a disruption. Alright. Who or what for the Divine Masculine is causing a disruption? Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Again, there's that financial, that money. So this could be somebody that wants money from the Divine Masculine, somebody that has taken money from the Divine Masculine, somebody that maybe they thought they could grow in a financial way together. That's come up so much over the last few months, or shit, I want to say that's actually come up so much over the last year or better. That has been like a recurring theme. And I haven't even been doing my own tarot that long, but that has been a freaking theme. Okay, disruption. Tell me about this disruption. I feel like this is like a head over heart decision right now. You know, you've got the opposition between money and love. Damn it. These are not wanting to shuffle well. Tell me more about this disruption, please. One more card. What is causing disruption for the Divine Masculine in their guidance, signs, synchronicities? Oh, I smell wild onions again. I posted about that last night too. I love the smell of cut wild onions in the summertime. Used to have some where we used to live, and I would smell them every time I would mow. Because I would mow over them. I didn't even know what they were for like years. We lived in this house for years, and I didn't even know what they were for the longest time. Like, I would cut over them, and I would always be like, that kind of smells like onions. But I tell you what, sometimes I just really didn't pay attention. And then finally, like, I did know what they were. Okay, so telling the truth is a disruption. So this is either the Divine Masculine's telling the truth. Wait, what do we got? The Underworld. Which one is that? Yeah, the Underworld, the Temperance. So we've got the Underworld in reverse. That's being out of balance. So the Divine Masculines, you've got two aces, but it's like, I feel like it's, you got to tell the truth. You got to be honest with yourself. You got to be honest with the people in your environment. You got to stand in your own truth. You got to do your own healing. You know, you've got to cut away anything that's letting those lower level energies feed off of you. You know, making you a meal. I have wax on my cards. But yeah, and so there also could be some kind of truth that is preventing you from moving forward. Either you need to tell somebody the truth, a truth, or somebody needs to tell you a truth, you need to know a truth, something like that. But the Divine Masculines right now, they're feeling off their balance. But I tell you what, I think I could probably do a reading in another, I don't know, maybe just a couple of hours, but maybe like 6 to 12 hours. And we'd probably get a whole other reading where it was showing that they were balanced, because that's the kind of energy I feel like the Divine Masculines have really been going through, is like, I'm good, I'm not good, I'm good, I'm not good, I'm good, I'm not good. So like balance, not balance, balance, not balance. So, okay, for the Divine Feminines. Oh, give me the card. Alright, so for the Divine Feminines, again, we've got wholeness / self, growth / love, and fertility. So I really feel like the Divine Feminines, they're on their path. They are balanced. They are moving forward. So let's see. Tell me about wholeness and self. What do we need to know more about for the divine feminines for wholeness and self? Okay. Oh, this is weird. Okay, so they've got divine feminines, got the Queen of Earth in the reverse too, and the Two of Air. Okay, I'm gonna keep going because tell me more about growth and love. Renewal. Okay. The divine masculines think that the divine feminines have chosen to maybe like cut them off because they're seeing them as like solid and grounded, and it's like they're making choices to that's better for themselves. Because then we've got renewal, which renewal is also judgment. Judgment, that is, or that can be reconciliation. So there could be a growth in the heart space. Actually, was just talking about heart chakra activations the other night on Facebook too. But yeah, with renewal, this could be what I just say? Damn it! Reconciliation. Jesus! All of a sudden, I'm feeling a shift in energy right now. I'm gonna try to wrap this up. Thank you. Okay, so we've got release in reverse. Yeah, that's death. So there could be the divine feminines. Oh, strange. Interesting. Okay, so we've got renewal with release in reverse. So it's like reconciliation after getting out of something toxic. I feel like this is, for the groups of divine masculines and feminines that's been together in the past, this is coming back together after being in something toxic. Got the 9 of water, the 9 of air. Wishes come true, but there could be a lot of worry about, like, literally you could be making things come true. You could be not just allowing things to happen. Yeah, you're all tied up in your head. Divine feminines. You could be not seeing things like, yeah, you've got fertility and fertility because you could either be creating your wishes or creating your nightmares. That's what fertility is for the divine feminines. And for growth and love, you've got growth when it comes to, like, having the capacity for reconciliation. But you're going to have to release old thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, or, anything that you were holding on to about this situation from the past. The two of air here in the self, it's like you got to choose yourself first. In order to be the Queen of Pentacles and be grounded, you've got to choose you first. And I feel like over here, though, the Divine Masculines are almost seeing that as a rejection at this point. Because you are choosing you. But even though you're choosing you got to make sure you're choosing your thoughts. Just like I was saying in the beginning, don't be feeding the negative monsters. Basically is what's out there. And I feel like with you in your head here with this 8 of Swords, you very well could be, well, right now it's like it's up in the air. Which one are you going to feed? This is like that, the 2 wolves, the old Indian proverb or Indian story. Which wolf are you going to feed? The dark wolf or the light wolf? I feel like this is, and I really feel like this is energy for both Divine Masculines and Divine Feminines. It's just, it come out over here. But I do think that's badass that it come out like that. 9 of water, 9 of air. Because, yeah, this is definitely all about what are you going to feed? What are you going to feed? And the Divine Masculines, I feel like they think that this is a lost cause. Well, they may not think it's a lost cause because they could be watching the Divine Feminines. Got the Page of Swords underneath that. Yeah, they're still not seeing things clearly, I don't feel like. Yeah, they're not ready to make a sacrifice when it comes to money. Or they don't want to. Yeah, that's what... Yeah, money, they're still holding on. Materialism. Well, there we got coming out of materialism. So, I don't know. Depending on how many pulses come through. Because I feel like they're changing their minds with these different pulses. But right now, I feel like they kind of feel like they've lost the Divine Feminine at this point. And maybe they have. But the Divine Feminine just has to be really sure on what they're thinking. This could be the reconciliation of a family. I just realized there's a child in this picture too. And this is like divinely guided. And it's like, know that. Know that this is a divinely guided reconciliation. And that could just be within yourself. Excuse me, but definitely know what you're choosing to think about. And over here, Divine Masculines, speak your truth, stand in your truth, and, if you're holding on to financial 3D stuff, it's probably going to come back and bite you in the ass because you're a divine being and you're here to do more, be more. So, yeah, staying low level is like, that's like anti-good. So, anyways, that's what I got. I'm sure this is crazy long. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe. It is just a few hours left for the Twinflame Mini. $45 for the full Twinflame, $20 for the Twinflame Mini. If this, resonates in any way and you would like to go deeper into your situation, we can definitely do that. That is still on special until 3:31 a.m. Overnight tonight, it'll be actually the 17th at 3:31 a.m. That is the precise time of the full moon here in Oklahoma, or where I live. So that's when I'm going to end the special, is on the full moon. So if your payment is time stamped on or before that time, then you will get the special pricing. So again, that's 3:31 a.m. Central Standard Time on the 17th. So $45 for the full Twinflame and $20 for the mini. And if you are interested in any of the other services I offer, that information is in the description box below. I'm hoping to have another new service or two open maybe by the middle of next month, maybe by the end of this month, but I'm not going to try to push myself. Let's see how it goes. So yeah. Anyways, look forward to that. And if you guys get some kind of guidance, information, or insight out of these videos that I post here on the channel, and you guys would like to do an energy exchange donation, those are always greatly appreciated and accepted. It helps me buy things here that I use a lot on the channel, like candles and sage and all that. That stuff can get pretty pricey when you use it as much as I do. So yeah, and those can be sent to paypal.me/Angel of the Dawn. And I am sending you guys so very much love. And this is Angel of the Dawn, saying peace, love, and light out. Until next time.